Thank you for joining us back here on Just Conspiracy, where we wish to conspire to bring heaven down to earth. If you're not conspiring to bring heaven down to earth, you're actively conspiring to bring hell up here. Sorry about that. That's just the situation. That's the way the world works right now. Anyways, we're going to talk about how to fix some of these problems that we have down here on earth, because a lot of people believe that you fix these problems by voting. We just got to vote for the right one. And I personally do not believe that, because I'll tell you why. And that is, we've always been able to vote. If voting really solved the problem, we wouldn't have these problems to begin with. In my opinion, it's just that simple. So we're going to talk about an election, a very specific election that's going on in Henderson, Polk, and Transylvania County. We're going to talk about Abe Hudson, Honest Abe, for judge, for district court judge in Transylvania, Henderson, and Polk County up in North Carolina. Because Honest Abe was honestly in the courtroom when Joni got abducted so that the court and Fritz Mercer could rob Henry and commit more trust fraud and help Josephine steal the rest of the trust, everything else that's left, and get away with it. Because there is no law at court anymore. And of course, Joni and I, we ran into him when he was going back to the magistrate's office, presumably after Fritz Mercer was grooming him on how to take away your rights, how to rob you of your property, how to deal with you when they don't like you and they're conspiring against you down at the courthouse. And this is another reason why I think voting doesn't really work, is because even if we get one guy in there who's good or has a good heart, the system is so corrupted and that courthouse is so corrupted they can't make a difference. Like, I personally believe that Gene Johnson really wished to do the right thing back in April. But nobody in society seems to care about their religious freedoms. And without the public supporting him doing the right thing, the courthouse and their wickedness is going to win every single time. Woe to you lawyers, you scribes, you Pharisees. So let's listen to Joni and I running into Honest Abe out in front of the courthouse, right after Joni had been abducted so that they could rob Baba.
Is that Honest Abe?
Don't worry.
Are you Honest Abe?
Yeah.
Would you be honest for us?
Am I the what?
Will you be honest for us?
Yeah.
The people that
I'm
vote
honest.
or don't vote?
You don't vote? Yeah, there's not much.
Oh,
is there any hope in it,
oh
right?
yes, there is.
You don't vote? Yeah, there's not much. There isn't any hope in it, right? See, even the people running for elected office, they know that there is no hope in voting because it's the system that is inherently corrupt. They know this. Just pointing that out to everybody. And he said he would be honest. I gotta give it to him. I don't think he lies. Let's listen.
We have an online news reporting, and we absolutely did a reporting and interview with Marianne Holliker.
Oh, yeah.
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 And with
Marianne.
Greg Newman. So
Yeah.
you were in court today. Did you see that they stole my father's money? 9 years.
I'm barely a glorified runner at this point. So.
They just stole this man,
I'm
a
the
war
district
veteran's
court
money.
judge-elect, and I'm currently a magistrate. So.
You a magistrate, huh?
See, he's already getting pretty good at this, dancing around people when they're wishing to exercise their rights. Dancing around the truth when it's inconvenient for you and your politics. Did you see them? Did you witness them rob Henry Ramo, my father, a 91-year-old Korean War veteran? Notice, he didn't say no. He did not say no. He was just like, let's talk about something else. I'm barely running to be just glorified runner. That's all I am. I am a magistrate. Oh, so you're a judicial officer and you witnessed a crime and you're not going to issue a warrant over it?
Yeah, Yeah, well, I will
Were
be.
you in court when they arrested me because they didn't want me to talk on behalf of my dad?
Yeah, it's okay.
You were in court.
Yeah. He arrested you in contempt of court. I don't know if that's what you wanted him to do.
No, that's not what I wanted.
Okay.
I wanted him to give my father a
Does she
fair and
not
just
have an
trial.
interest? He arrested you for contempt of court. No, he abducted her so that he could steal everything else from her father. He did not arrest her. If he arrested her, there would be some type of real record about it. They would actually have it filed in with the clerk's office. It would be appealable. You would have a court of law if there were a real record. She didn't get arrested for contempt of court. She got arrested so that they could rob everything from Baba. And he witnessed it. And he knows better. He knows better. But I don't know if you wanted to get arrested. Because I'm sure everybody wakes up every morning and says, you know what I want to do today? I want to go down to the court because I'm getting robbed of all of my interest in a trust. And I want them to lock me up, put my father, who doesn't really know what's going on, up on the stand, and get testimony from his ex-wife, who has robbed all of the trust funds from the family, to steal the rest of the trust funds and have the court aid and assist her in committing more actual trust fraud. I'm sure that's what everybody wakes up in the morning thinking that they want to do. Like, let me go to jail so that I can be robbed of everything else that's left. That's incredibly rude. As a beneficiary of the
That's the
trust.
sort of thing that is definitely legal advice. I can't give you that. I'm a judicial official. You can pay a lawyer for that if you want.
They
Or do it
always want us
yourself.
to pay lawyers.
Certainly. Like I said, no, it's like working on your car. You can do it yourself.
Again, dancing around the truth, dancing around the obvious. Doesn't she have an interest in the case? Like, doesn't she have a right to be before the court? Well, that's legal advice. I can't give you legal advice. You gotta go get a lawyer. Let me ask you this, like, just between me and you here on YouTube. If Joni doesn't have a right to be before the court, if she doesn't have an interest in the trust that's being discussed before the court, how can she go get an attorney to go and do anything about it for her? If she can't do it herself, if she doesn't have the right to do that, how can she pay somebody to acquire that right? Because if you can do that, it wouldn't be a right. It would be a privilege. It would be you paying somebody for the courts to be corrupt. Probably like James Sapp did. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But notice, again, he didn't say no. He didn't say that she didn't have an interest, that she didn't have a right to be up there. Let's listen to it again. As a beneficiary of the
That's the
trust.
sort of thing that is definitely legal advice. I can't give you that. I'm a judicial official. You can pay a lawyer for that if you want.
They
Or do
always
it
want us
yourself.
to pay lawyers.
Certainly. Like I said, no, it's like working on your car. You can do it yourself too. But sometimes things happen.
Well, apparently you can't.
Apparently I can't because they arrest you for opening up your mouth to protect
can't
your dad.
represent him.
So that I'm not representing him.
All right.
I'm not an attorney.
I am the
You can't represent him. She wasn't representing him. She was there to move the case, to protect the interest for everybody in the family, and Henry Ramo just happens to be someone in the family. She was not representing him. She was there because she had interest in the case. She also had a power of attorney to function on Henry's behalf. An unlimited power of attorney, which means, yeah, she could actually represent him before the court. Actually, she could act as Henry before the court. But that wouldn't really help them establish the facts that they want to put on the record and control the narrative, because Joni would know how to put facts on the record. And they know the facts they're putting on the record are not true, and it's easily provable. Easily. But the magistrate won't do anything about it. He says you can do it on your own. Apparently you can't. Apparently you get locked up when you have an interest in a case and the entire courthouse is conspiring against you.
I am the closest thing to someone on y'all's side, and if you want to act like that, that's...
Is that right?
I am the closest thing to someone on y'all's side, and if you want to act like that, that's...
Is that right?
I am the closest thing to someone on y'all's side. You know what that tells me? It absolutely confirms that there's some type of conspiracy against Joni and her father up there. Because he just basically said, nobody else is on your side. I'm kind of on your side because I see you doing the right thing. You have a right to do it. And he hasn't completely lost his conscience yet, in my opinion, if he feels that way. Kind of on your side. Closest thing to somebody on your side, because everybody else is against you. Everybody else is willing to do criminal stuff to you to steal everything you have.
I am the closest thing to someone on y'all's side, and if you want to act like that, that's...
Is that right?
No, I mean,
No.
hey, man, it's nothing against you. You're not the one who made the decision, brother. I will be the one making the decision to lock you up and violate your rights and violate other people's rights for my own convenience and the convenience of the other actors up at the courthouse. I'm just not that individual yet. And the reason I know that you're going to be that individual is because that's the way they're grooming you to be. That's why you were in there to watch and participate. Because you always got to participate in a crime before you get being part of the gang. They got to have something to hold over your head too. You all got to commit criminal acts together. That's how gangs work.
But you were witness to it.
Just understand the frustration. Just understand the frustration. Of course, I know I share a lot of them. Yeah, because you know how corrupt the courthouse is. And I'm actually kind of encouraged that he shares a lot of the frustrations. But he's not going to be able to do anything about it if the people don't support him doing the right thing. Because he's not willing to do the right thing right now. He saw a crime happen. He verified a complaint from Joni, who the crime happened to. He should be issuing out a warrant for Fritz Mercer's arrest. But he's not. He's not.
But you were witness to it.
Just understand the frustration. So let's see what he has up on his Facebook page. Currently, I serve as a magistrate in Henderson County. A magistrate is the first judicial officer someone sees after being arrested, and likewise in almost all circumstances. That arrest was initiated or maintained by a magistrate first hearing the testimony of an officer or complainant and issuing a warrant or order for arrest. Unless you're Valerie Owenby and you were raped for 7 years and you ask, heaven forbid you go and ask the court and the state to go and arrest the individual who raped you for 7 years. Because they won't issue a warrant on that one, and that's just because Thomas McAvoy Britton ordered them not to. That's exactly what happened. Of course he shares a lot of the same frustrations. I will bring the same pursuit of duty, fairness, and adherence to the law to the office of District Court Judge as I have shown serving as a magistrate. Doesn't give me a lot of confidence right now because the option is between you and Jason Hayes. And you're not performing your duties and functions as a magistrate. And Jason Hayes isn't performing his duties and functions as a district attorney. He was working under Greg Newman. He knows what happened with Valerie Owenby's case. He won't fix it. He won't do anything about it. So what do? Do you pick the guy who's not going to do their job or uphold the law? Or do you pick the guy who's not going to do their job or uphold the law? Here's voting. Here's the right of suffrage for you. And that's why I can't participate in it. Personally. I don't have anything against anybody who does. Everybody has the right to do as they wish. But for me, it's like, which bastard of a stepfather do you want beating the crap out of you every night? That's just the way I see it. Now, in all honesty, Jason Hayes had 323 likes on his Facebook page. Honest Abe only had 139. It seems like the populace vote, the in crowd up there, was going for Jason Hayes, and he didn't get it. Maybe that's a good thing. maybe it's not. What do you think? Let us know. Let us know. Because we are just conspiracy, and we just wish to conspire to bring heaven down to earth. We're also trying to monetize the channel, so if you could like, share, subscribe, comment, we'd really, really appreciate it. And we're going to be producing a story about this whole scenario. And we're going to tell you about a lot of scenarios here within a month. And we really hope that everybody sticks around and joins us for this story so that maybe we can take some actions to start getting our rights back. One world, love, and peace.
Will you be honest for us?
Yeah.
The people that
I'm
vote
honest.
or don't vote?
You don't vote? Yeah, there's not much. There's
Oh,
already
yes,
hope in it,
oh
right?
yes, there is.
I am the closest thing to someone on the other side, and if you want to act like that, that's...
Is that right?
Hey man, it's nothing against you. You're not the one who made the decision, brother.
I will be.
But you
I
were
mean,
witness to it.
Just understand the frustration.